I Ain't That Chick.
It's about self-empowerment. It's about self-awareness. It's about self-respect.
Some people would say that, when she turned 18, she could have just left. That was her out. She's an adult. Why would you stay in that situation until you're 24?
Because of my little sister, I had to.
Do you ever blame your mom?
I do. Because I'm like, I'm your baby. I'm your youngest baby girl. Mm-hmm. This didn't only happen to me. This happened to my older sister, who was the firstborn. But I'm your baby. At some point or another, some instinct is going to kick in where you need to, or a female lion should protect her young.
And the two people that are supposed to protect you, provide for you, love you unconditionally, protect you from against stuff like that happening from somebody else. And these are the two people, because you're a victim from your mom and your dad.
Yeah. I'm unraveling years of my father's stuff, years of my mother's stuff that doesn't belong to me, that became mine.
That's such a good point. That stuff that doesn't belong to you, like Jennifer. Where is Jennifer? Because Jennifer was the young, innocent girl that was born to two people. But I almost feel like, your father, his fingerprints and his touches and his mental and his physical abuse almost changed your DNA in a sense. It made you into somebody maybe you would not have been. I don't know. Yeah. What does that, where's Jennifer? Who is Jennifer?
I'm still trying to figure it out. Jennifer's still a person that never really had a chance to grow up and be her. Queen, on the other hand, is Jennifer's defender.
Jennifer was the one that they didn't protect.
Yeah.
And that's the one that Queen protects.
Yeah.
Queen protects Jennifer.
Yeah. A Queen walks down the street with, holding Jennifer's hand.
Do you think you would have become a lesbian if your dad had not introduced you to women?
No, I had a boyfriend at age 12.
There came a point where you said, no more, I'm not going to be quiet anymore. How did you come to that decision?
I was living in Greensboro in 2010, and my ex-wife and a really close friend encouraged me that, if I wasn't going to do it for my sake and for my eldest sister's sake, I had to do it for my younger sister. I had to come forward. And I was like, I don't want to get nobody in trouble. That was always at the beginning of my mind. I don't want to get anybody in trouble.
You protected them.
Yeah. And at this point, I hadn't seen them since I left home. My parents wouldn't let me see them. I told my mother in 2009, I told you, once my father got wind that her and I were talking, she told me, look, Jennifer, you should come back home. Forgot to mention that. You should come back home. Things will be different. And you need to stop telling people. You need to take it to God and leave it alone and pray about it.
You didn't have to take anything to God, because
God
knows. He knew.
God knew this was going to happen to me. He gave this to me to see how I was going to get out of it.
And for anybody else that's watching and adopting that mentality that you shh and just pray about it. No, you pray about it, but you do something about it.
Right. I called the FBI. The FBI said, you need to call your local police. Even though it happened in New Haven, Connecticut, you need to contact where you're living and give them your statement. And another friend of mine, her name is L.A., she's a videographer out of North Carolina, she went with me that day. And as I'm walking into the Greensboro Police Department, she's filming. I don't know for what reason she was filming, but I think this was the beginning of the rest of my life, I guess, to her. This is how this translated. And I'm walking up those 3 stairs, and I turned about face. I turned right back around. And she grabbed my arm and she looked me square in the face. She said, if you walk off this stoop, she said, I'm not about, you came too far.
That's right. Now, the outcome of the trial, what happened? Was your dad sentenced? Was he found guilty?
He was found guilty. Only for my adult things. Because in Connecticut, there's a statute of limitations that is 5 years from the date of the occurrence. So you have up until 5 years to come forward, and everything else after that is null and void, which is why my sister could not, he couldn't get charged with the things he did to my sister.
Okay. But you got it just in time, I believe, right?
Just in time. It happened longer to me than it did her, but abuse is abuse. There's no time stamp.
If it happens one day, that's abuse. That's abuse that will carry you for the rest of your life.
It doesn't matter. It's just that this just happened over and over and over again, and that's what the prosecutor kept highlighting. He was so amazing, I will say that. I had a male and a female. So things that he missed, the female was right on top of him.
Thank you. What are your prosecutors' names?
Kevin Doyle and Maxine Walensky.
If you ever see this, and I hope you do, I just want to say thank you. Thank you for all the kids that have gone unheard for so many years. Thank you so much. Now, what was your dad sentenced to?
18 years.
Say that again.
18 years.
Say it one more time. And I know it doesn't make you feel good, but this is a victory. But how does it make you feel?
It's still not.
You hurt for your dad. And I know people can't even understand. They can't even understand.
I hurt because it's ripped my whole family apart. I have good things that I pulled from my childhood in which my parents taught me, and then I have these haunting things that are going to affect, that will no longer affect
Amen.
my ongoing, the rest of the years that I had.
And why will they no longer affect?
Because I ain't that chick.
Say it again.
Because I ain't that chick.
Amen. I just want you to look into that camera. And for somebody else that's going through it, that's watching this, that's going through it, not telling anybody, or maybe they've told somebody and somebody has not believed them, what would you say to them?
It's going to break down your spirit by holding it in. And it almost broke mine, but you have to keep pushing forward. You have to develop a faith, like I said. I don't care what faith it is. Muslim, Christian, Judea, whatever it is. You have to have a faith, because that's the only thing that you can rely on. You can rest your shoulders on, is a faith. And an understanding of self-love, though that may be, an oxymoron to say, because at that moment in your life, you don't love yourself, because you don't know how. Because we love the way we've been taught.
Taught to love. That's
unless
so true.
we decide to do something different.
Oh, that's powerful.
And that's what I included in my statement,
Powerful.
During the sentencing. And to see my father, walk off in shackles, it hurts, because we're taught to respect our parents. But at some point, I had to start living. And that's what, if you haven't done that, you need to come forward. You need to call somebody. You can email me. You can email Natay.
Yes.
Email me. info@urbanqueen, that's KWEEN, brand, BRAND.com. Contact me.
And I'm at info@IAin'tThatChick.com. Most importantly, you keep talking to somebody until somebody hears you, until the right person hears you.
So now that the rain is gone, there are no more tears. I can now walk away instead of running from my fears. I have let them go for the lengthy time they were here, and for that while, I have chosen to be here, to be present and alive. These are the reasons I smile.